Hello, it's Alana Brabin here in the beautiful kitchen at Lindock Hill in the stunning Barossa. We've just got some rain, so it's even better at the moment. I'd just like to, firstly, before we start, acknowledge the Nudgee people for their ancestors, past, present and future. We'd just like to thank them for the use of this land from which we stand, and so thank you. Okay, so Carers Support Network putting together these wonderful packages for beautiful people like yourselves, and we'd just like to say thank you for letting us be a part of that. And we feel super privileged. We've all got people in our lives that we care for, that need care, and who are carers. So thank you for the wonderful job you're doing during these crazy times. So today we are looking at Beef and Venison Kofta, a little bit different and a little bit interesting in the sense that you'll be using a meat you might not be used to and may not have tried before, which is a Middle Eastern risol, which is a bit of a joke, but actually quite true. So it's a bit of a Middle Eastern spin on what you would have had when you were a kid, and with a tabouleh as well. So you get your greens, you get your beautiful vegetables, and I think they're a delicious match. So let's get to it. So here we have the ingredients that you'll receive in your box next Thursday. So we've got 500 grams of minced meat, it'll be venison and beef, all local. Semolina, I've made a kofta spice mix from cayenne, smoked paprika and cumin, not too hot, don't stress. We've got burgle, cracked wheat. I apologise for my pronunciation from anyone who does know how to pronounce that properly. I've been reading it all these years. We've got tomatoes, Spanish onion, riverside, beautiful eggs from down the road. We've got garlic from our garden. We've got brown onion, and we've got some beautiful parsley. There will be other herbs in the box, but this is all we're using for today. There will be also other fruit and veg in the box. So let's get cracking on some tabouleh. Okay, so we're going to start with our tabouleh just because I really like to cool down the wheat, or the cracked wheat. So this has been kicking around for forever, since Roman times. So this is wheat before it becomes anything else, essentially. And what they do is they steam it or boil it and then dry it. And that is basically what makes cracked wheat. So we're going to boil it now. It does not need long at all, but cooling it down is a really important part of the process. So like rice or anything else that has a absorption, couscous, you need to go with a 1 to a 1.5 water ratio. So 1 cup of the wheat to 1.5 cups of water. It doesn't have to be a cup, it can be any measurement, doesn't matter, as long as it's 1.5 water. So we're going to go 1 cup, and the water's already in there. We're going to start it cold. So we're going to add a big pinch of salt to that. Same with rice, always add salt to anything that you're boiling. Turn that on, and once that boils, we're going to take it off the heat, let it sit for about a minute, run a fork through it so it becomes nice and fluffy, and then leave it in the fridge until we need it later on. Okay, so while that's on, we'll keep an eye on that, obviously, while we start some of our other ingredients. So sadly, we're just out of tomato season. We had some crackers this year at the property. I processed, just while I was in isolation, almost 60 kilos worth, and they're in the freezer at the moment. We'll probably incorporate those into one of our ready meals in the next coming weeks, I think. I've got some plans with that. So anyway, these are store-bought, still delicious, but nowhere near as good as homegrown. So there's two schools of thought when you're making tabouleh with these guys. Some people keep all the seeds in, some people take the seeds out. I'm a seeds out, so you just need to get in there and scrape those out. I find that it makes it a little bit wet. So you get those nice petals. Okay, so now we're going to start slicing them up. You want to go nice and thin here, because we just want little pieces, and bring them this side, little cubes. So they're little bursts of colour through the tabouleh. Feel free to leave the seeds in though, there's a lot of flavour in the seeds as well. So this is boiling now, the wheat is boiling now, it doesn't really take long. So I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to put it to the side. And then in a minute I'm going to start running my fork through that just to make sure it's nice and fluffy and they're not sticking together. So still working on the tabouleh. We're going to slice up some onion. If you don't like onion, don't put it in, it really doesn't matter. I find the best way when slicing an onion is to keep the root on. Give it a good peel. I'm going to slice up there like that. And then you're able just to make nice little dices like that. I think half an onion is probably enough for this recipe. If you love onion, put it in. Otherwise, pickle the rest or have it on a roast beef sandwich. Put that to the side. And now we're going to work on our parsley. So the bunch of parsley that you'll be getting in your pack will be enough to go inside the kofta mince, and the rest will go in with the tabouleh. So it's only half a bunch for this one, but we might as well chop it all up at once. Always give your herbs a really good wash. They're generally grown in, sometimes they're grown in hydroponic situations, and there's a lot of sand, a lot of silt. It goes for most vegetables anyway. You don't know who's handled them on their way to you. So I usually use a dilution of vinegar and water. Give everything a really good wash before I put it away, and then you know that it's safe for the family. Okay, so we're going to chop this up. I need these really, really large stems. Keep those to the side. You can make soups and stocks out of them. You can put them in your pestos if you're making pesto. You can do lots of stuff with a parsley stem. They're quite delicious, but just a little bit too strong for the tabouleh. These little stems are not too bad, it's just these big thick ones we don't want. So when chopping parsley, I like to put it into a bowl. Nice and tight, and then you've got a better handle on keeping it smaller. Just keep going like that. Do it nice and slowly. Roll the knife. You don't have to do it quickly. But after a bit of practice, you'll get a little bit of speed up. Always sharpen your knives too. There's some really great knife sharpeners around that'll come to your house. Mobile ones are really great. Beautiful. So half of our parsley will go into our kofta and half of it will go into our tabouleh. Okay, so we've got our roughly chopped parsley, our tomato, our Spanish onion, our wheat which is cooled down. We're going to dress it with some beautiful lemon. I actually got these from my friend John. He's got a massive tree in Mile End and has surplus at the moment, so that's really lovely. It's good to have friends like that. And we are going to put a little bit of garlic through it. If you don't like garlic, again, no problem, don't add it, no drama. It is not essential. So I'm just going to peel this little garlic. Now these were grown here at Lyndoch Hill by our wonderful team, and they are sensational. This is last season's. It's really beautiful. The way you can tell generally if garlic is Australian is if it's purple and it looks a little bit raggedy. It's just really good to support our local farmers. It's more expensive, but it's great. Beautiful. So what I'm going to do is mix our veggies and herbs in with our wheat. You should smell the onion You can smell the parsley. We're going to microplane. If you've got just a normal box grater, you can use the finer side on that. I'm just in a kitchen, a commercial kitchen, so I'm pretty lucky. But yeah, feel free to use the side of your box grater that you've got at home. That will come out really, really fine. That's a really good hack with onion as well if you need to make it really fine. I can smell that, that's so pungent. You're gonna love it, guys. Lemon, so that we don't get the seeds in. We're gonna run it through our hand. It's just a lot of beautiful smells going on right now. Always salt. And I'm going to add, this is a blend of olive oil and canola oil. I think it's a little less aggressive than a straight olive oil. And canola oil is, once again, Australian made, so that's a nice blend. Always taste. Beautiful. Really happy with that. Hey, so we're back to do our kofta. We're using a 50-50 mix of venison and beef mince. It's quite lean. Venison is quite lean naturally. So we are adding a few different things to keep it nice and moist. And yeah, it should be really juicy and delicious. Already showed you how to cut an onion, so just a nice brumalised onion. We've got a mix of cayenne, cumin, and smoked paprika. Again, not too hot, don't stress. We've got these beautiful Riverside eggs from down the road. Check them out on Facebook, really lovely people. We've got some semolina, the rest of the parsley from before, and some lemon juice. So we're going to get everything into a bowl, add the eggs. This is for rolling our kofta in, and then we're going to fry them. You don't have to fry them, you can bake them, you can barbecue them. I sound like Bubba Gump. You can do many ways to cook this, any way that you feel comfortable with. I'm using a pan because I'm here. Personally, I prefer to cook on fire, but today we're using the gas stove. Always salt, always salt. Adding salt now means you don't have to add salt after, and you're more likely to use about 4 times more. So during the cooking process, it comes into the food. If you need to season afterwards, you're more likely to use 4 times as much. That I've learned recently. And so I use my hands. This is a good one to get the kids involved in. Add a little bit of semolina into this to bind it. And once that's all combined, you can roll. I'm just doing little ones. And they'll just go in there. Just using the palm of my hand to shape them. That's what that action is. I just realised how that must have looked. I just do it without thinking, to be honest. Beautiful. Okay, so we're ready to cook our kofta. So we've rolled them. We've chosen to go with this size because we're feeding a family of 4. Out of the half a kilo of mince you're getting, you should be able to get 15 this size. So it's up to you how big, how little you decide to do them. You can put them on skewers if you like and cook them that way. So we're just doing little rissoles. So we're going to get our pan nice and hot with a nice big swirl of oil. I always salt my pan. It seasons it, and it also stops things from sticking to it. These were just rolled in the semolina, and we'll put them in the fridge to set. These guys have just come out of the fridge, and if you'll see, the semolina has totally soaked into them, and that's going to give it a really nice caramelized crust. And we're going to cook them off. And I choose to finish mine off in the oven. So seal them and then put them in the oven for around 4 to 5 minutes. Pull them out and they'll be ready to serve. So these have been turned, they're nice and brown on the outside, they're becoming nice and brown on the inside. I'm just going to whack it in the oven now for about 4 to 5 minutes. I'm lucky enough to be in a commercial kitchen, so I'm using these beautiful iron pans. If you've got a stainless steel pan, you can put it straight in the oven, but if you have any plastic or any Teflon, do not put it in the oven. Put it on a tray first, and we'll see you when it's time to plate. Okay, now we're ready to plate. Here's the fun part. I am a big fan of share food, but in current situations and times, we're doing a little bit more individual, and it's got a little bit of a restaurant quality. I've got beautiful Fleurieu Peninsula yogurt. Big fan of these guys, they do great work and need us more than ever at the moment. We've got our kofta, our tabouleh, and a beautiful lemon cheek. So, we're just going to put a nice line of tabouleh down. Kofta down. With Fleurieu yogurt, and any good quality yogurt for that matter, I always give it a really good stir. The fat and heavier parts of the yogurt tend to drop and the whey rises. So if you give it a really good mix, you know that you're going to have a consistent product throughout the whole thing. It's because it's so creamy. And if you just put that there, a little salt to finish, a lemon cheek, and a beautiful drizzle of oil. Beautiful kofta for dinner. Enjoy, guys. I'm certainly going to. And there we have our beautiful kofta. We're trying venison, we've got tabouleh, we've got beautiful local produce, and a lovely Barossa Shiraz, more importantly. Thanks very much, guys. I'm going to get stuck into this and have a really, really great weekend. Thank you.